Okay, so pretty much this could go into a video that I made a couple years ago, and even some similar videos or topics that I talked about back on my abuse evidence channels about what I was calling trauma talk. And I know I mentioned in more recent times how all the racist chomos were talking junk about the racist and sexist chomos were talking junk about the Billy from Softfoot Underbelly kid, and how they were saying he talks weird and he's high or he's quote-unquote autistic, which is a racial insult, and saying that all melanated people have supposed learning disabilities that are really bullcrap labels anyways. But anywho, there's trauma talk, where I'm gonna eventually show some examples, not in this part but in the part 2, where you pretty much you either talk really fast, you start to barely be able to pronounce stuff. This can also come from the brain fog and the brain damage and the dementia type symptoms that you get from trauma. I know when I went back to NC in December, not last December, I had someone I kind of used to know tell me that I used to talk so proper, but now I just sound however. And sometimes I do have trouble pronouncing stuff. And I even look back on videos, and not even myself, especially some videos from the abuse evidence channels that I was watching the other day. And then my siblings and my nephew. And the Billy kid does sound similar to all of us with some of the speech patterns. It's when you're getting yelled at and screamed at and made to shut up all the time, you start to talk quieter and you mumble. And I remember in certain parts of my abuse situation, these speech patterns that I picked up from my abuse were actually used against me. And then also I'm gonna talk about in the part 2 how people who are really intelligent typically talk really fast. And I have some clips. I may not even show the clips. I may just put the videos in the description. But I have a list of videos from tech founders, Y Combinator founders, and just these different people. And one of the things about that is that when they have these speech patterns, it's because they're smart. But when somebody else has these speech patterns, it's because they're quote-unquote uneducated brown person who can't talk right, or it's because they're quote-unquote mentally ill and bipolar and schizophrenic and manic. But when it's somebody that's considered successful by matrix standards that has these speech patterns or these ways of thinking, oh, then they're smart. Crap. This is going to be kind of irrelevant, but I still think back to the whole ltcorbis situation. I do still wonder if she's a European synagogue of Satan plant, but still at the end of the day, she was really smart, and she was one of the first people that I really resonated with for a lot of different reasons. But one of the things that I always think about is that me and her talked about and were interested in the same things. I thought we were the same age, but she's actually a couple years older than me apparently. But anywho, we were interested in the same things, but when she talks about it, she's smart for her age. But when I talk about it, I'm just the paranoid black person who's schizo or just paranoid with a victim complex. We're talking about the same things with the Matrix and the, I don't even really like the term elites anymore, but the elites and different things like that. And and also talking about human trafficking. I remember when I was a lot younger and I would talk about the issue of SRA sex trafficking, I would sometimes even have quote unquote white people respond by saying everybody was slaves or slavery was 400 years ago. And it's I'm not even talking about quote unquote slavery. I'm just talking about general trafficking, especially for SRA, which stands for satanic ritual abuse, which is a higher level of trap that people are talking about now, but still watering it down and making it about some woman standing on the corner trying to make it sound like it's just prostitution or something, and it's just about women as a part of the social justice warrior agenda. But anywho, I think about that a lot, which even goes back to a video that I made probably 2 years ago or something. I think it was in 2024, and it was titled, I think, The Perspective of Insanity. I think I mentioned the ltcorbis thing there as well. How, like, when she talks about the same things I talk about, she's smart and extremely intelligent for her age. And of course, she was called like a bigot and stuff by people, but that was because of things that she said about the alphabet and other Caucasian Europeans, specifically the Synagogue of Satan ones. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it, because she was an atheist and she was bisexual herself. But people, all that stuff is really like bias of who they want to call a bigot. But then when I talk about those same things, I'm just like stupid or crazy or whatever. So that was really interesting. And so that goes into this. So I made a post a couple months ago, I guess, about the ATL Street interview, Freemason, sex prey dude exploiting somebody else that he was calling Orange Man or something like that. And I even have a screenshot that I had to go back and get the other day of a comment that I luckily could still find, where somebody was like, he's really quick with the references and he should be in a studio. And when I watched this video right here, it made me think back to that, because the quote-unquote Orange Man, which is really insulting, to be honest, that's being labeled off as just crazy and mentally ill, and people, of course, ignoring all his trauma and even him being exploited in the moment. He's obviously really smart. He's able to do like all these different references and stuff. And it's like when he does it, he's just the mentally ill, crazy, dangerous, supposed drug addict, homeless person. Not even sure if he was really homeless or not, but that's what he's labeled off as. But when somebody in a higher position does it, then they're really intelligent. In fact, I think that that's what this comment right here kind of meant. I wasn't able to really exactly tell what she really meant, but I think this comment right here that I just liked, I think that's kind of what she meant. When people that don't have the money and the platform and aren't considered successful and sane by the Matrix standards talk about these same things, and they're going to be labeled off as crazy. But it kind of depends, because like I think about the that boxer dude, I don't remember what his name was, but the boxer dude that came out about how he was in GATE, of course, the gifted special ed branch of the Cash for Kids system. That's a part of the school system branch of the Cash for Kids system. And he talked about he grew up being sex trafficked and all that stuff his whole life, and the usual stuff with like industry people. I can't remember his name though. He did say he was going to get on an Imagination podcast, but he ended up not doing it. Which, I mean, I could understand all the different reasons why. He's probably threatening everything. But that boxer dude, if I can remember, I would like put something about his name in the description. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, but when he came out and talked about how he got sexually abused and stuff his whole life, of course people started unfollowing him and calling him crazy, and he got silenced and the usual stuff. So I mean, yeah, either way, you're still going to get crazy called and accused of being on drugs and all that stuff, and quote-unquote mentally ill. The Chomo European philosophy ideals that were made up to invalidate abused victims and make reasons to get people forced on dangerous drugs in infancy and having people on Prozac since 3 years old and stuff. All those systems that are made to just silence people, and also to gaslight people about their trauma and blame them for their abuse, and keep people in a state of sickness, because like they're not curing anybody. It all comes from trauma and gut issues, but they're not curing anybody or even admitting what causes these things if somebody actually does show symptoms of it. Like I even think about how schizophrenia is really a racial label. It especially revolves around the white supremacist philosophy of atheism, which of course, I mean, sure, the Christendom religions are also hijackings of the African book, the Bible. So I mean, I know people will be like, well, how is atheism a white supremacist philosophy when Christianity is, I mean, they both are. Christianity is a pagan European hijacking of an African book, but it still doesn't throw away the fact that atheism is also white supremacist philosophy. But anywho, so the schizo label is a part of that because it's used to label off melanated people and quote-unquote third world people. It's just uneducated and broken, poor, and third world for believing in the supernatural, because 5 years ago some Caucasian guy who was probably a chomo and probably not even really an atheist, was probably a Freemason himself, made up some dogma, doctrine, bullcrap that says if somebody believes in the supernatural, they're just crazy because none of that's real and they're just uneducated. If you don't believe some flipped around whitewashed history or something that some quote-unquote white guy made up 5 minutes ago, then you're just uneducated and stupid, or you're crazy, or both. And so melanated people were labeled off as schizo for believing in quote-unquote God, because I don't really like the ineffable name doctrine, and for believing in the supernatural, and for like just different stupid stuff pretty much. And Westerners think that they're like really smart. Like if somebody is talking about King Nebuchadnezzar and Nimrod, and you say they were Nephilim, somebody from any other part of the world, especially the now called quote-unquote Middle East, will be like, well, duh, they're Nephilim. I mean, I'm not retarded. But if you say they were Nephilim to an American, they'll just be like, oh, there's that schizophrenic conspiracy stuff. And 5 minutes ago, some white guy said the Nephilim don't exist. So if you don't believe that, then you need to take your quote-unquote meds, because people are so obsessed with these quote-unquote meds and these mental labels, and everybody's autistic and depressed and bipolar, but nobody's getting better, and everybody's been on meds since quote-unquote meds since they were 3 years old. And it's like, crap, you've been on Xanax since you were 2, and you were supposedly somehow depressed at 2, and now you're 35 and you're still on Xanax and 5 other quote-unquote meds, or really neurotoxin drugs, and you're still not any better. It's all a bunch of bull crap. And so I think I finished the point. I kind of went on a rant because I get mad and passionate. But anywho, yeah, so pretty much like, I really don't feel like I finished saying all of what I wanted to say, but I don't really remember. I just know that like the point is that like people just get certain labels depending on who they are and what they are in their income bracket, pretty much. They get them easier anyways. Because of course, like, once people in like the music industry, or especially the Hollywood industry, their trauma really takes a toll on them, and they start talking and speaking out. Like, in fact, I remember, I probably still have like some videos on here with like some screenshots of messages about this, but I remember people would like say, you better like escape your abuse situation before you end up like that Britney lady and you end up in a conservatorship and stuff like that. They just like label you off as crazy and all that stuff. So the timestamp that I have is 40:09, but I'm not really sure if it starts before there.
Involved in the conscious collective movement, it sometimes becomes, they're real lonely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You get real, because you're like, damn, why the fuck do they not get this shit? Right. Well, I'm never alone. You might be lonely, but you're not alone. Right. That's right. Yeah. And see, the word alone, when you break that down, is all one. All one. I'm all one with self. All one.
Oh crap! No, and I gotta throw this in here. Okay, this is the last thing. I also think about the Yaki Awaken situation, and it's like there's Barbara O'Neill and plenty of other allopathic, naturopathic. What's the other? I have some notes. Allopathic, naturopathic. That's not even on here. Functional and holistic. Those are some bullet points I have for something else, not even for this video. There's all those types of doctors, and I mean, yeah, they still get called woo-woo and false and fake and snake oil salesmen and stuff like that, but they still don't get the hate that people like Yaki Awaken will get. And it's like every time, especially True Yasharel, but every time melanated people do something, it's a cult. Like people are calling his medical practices, of course, false, fake, not based in the science and those different things that people say. Where are his credentials? And but it's like every time we do something, it's a cult. But the Catholic Church has been kidnapping and trafficking and all types of horrors to people since its conception in Rome, which they're part of. Aside from, of course, triage, they're part of the people who hung now called Jesus on the cross anyways, and it's a pagan religion. It's all false. Protestant is false as well, but most people know that generally pagan Roman Catholicism is false, even if they try to act like Protestant isn't also false. And then, of course, all the other very well-known culty Christ and Messiah branches. But my point is that when we do something, it's schizophrenic, uneducated cults and all that stuff. But then when they do it, it's okay. Kind of like on that song, it's all good when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. And it makes me think about this IG quote that I seen maybe somewhere around 2018 and 2019, maybe early 2020. And it was like, if I did half the things to other people that people have done to me, I'd be in jail. And it's like, crap, that's what I've been saying. But yeah, so that was the last thing I think.
Catch that. Hold on. All one. All one. I had to catch it. Alone is all one. Alone, when you break that down, it's all one. All one. I'm all one with self. All one. I had to catch that. Hold on. All one. All one. I had to catch it. Alone is all one. That's all one. Yes, the impossible is impossible. Facts, yeah. Right? Yeah. They put the words in there. It's up to us to decode it. Yeah. That's what my book Woke is about. It's about unpacking conscious language. Yeah. It's a dictionary for the conscious mind.
And that makes me think about how Caucasians in the left and the right bullcrap mind herding of politics have completely changed the meaning of the word woke, and now the word woke means the opposite of what it used to mean. But I'm not even going to go into that. But I don't like any of that.
Yeah, I need that, bro. Yeah, bro, you got that. You got that. For sure. When they call you black, you take the B off black and it's lack. You take the B off blessed, it's less. You wonder why y'all still standing less? Because you kept calling yourself blessed. Yes. You calling yourself black. No wonder you staying fucking lack. I'm indigenous. I'm melanin. I'm carbon. I'm anything but a color. I heal from the sun. Everybody else get killed from the sun. That's a fact. But you don't see your power. Yeah. Because you let somebody else tell you that you're a derivative of a slave. They didn't tell you that it's more pyramids here in America than it is in Africa. Wow. America. Yeah, I'm a more. I'm not less. I'm more, not less. It's called Morehouse, not less house. This is the house of the more. Right. But because they put it in your face, but you don't understand how to receive it. Yeah. You think when they say in God we trust on the dollar bill, it's talking about the Most High God. No, it's talking about gas, oil, and drugs, guns, organs, and death. The trust is not trust. It's the trust that they legally use to, in God we put the trust. In the gas, oil, and drugs we put our trust. This is how they break it down, but people don't see it because they don't want to see it. But now you have no choice but to see it because they're taking your money away. They turning everything into crypto. They turning everything into AI. And you can't even see AI because you don't have no IA. You can't even see artificial intelligence because you don't have the intelligence of the Almighty.
And then, I don't know at what point in the video, but maybe like near the beginning, he called himself a nigger for lease, and he was talking about how he got out of the NFL or the NBA, whatever in the world. And that's like a good play on words too, because I mean, just like with the music industry, which I'm pretty sure I talked about this, and maybe it was a video about the stock market and the data centers. I don't even remember, but like the music industry, aside from like, well, the American music industry, aside from like all the well-known occultic stuff and the fact that like those people are really born in, they don't just like get in there. It's also really just like a loan company. Like really, you're just a debt person. I kind of choked there, but you're a debt person pretty much. Like, I know there's the Bible verse, the borrower is slave to the lender and all that. And it's like, you really just like owe them money because the record company, they like literally pay for your studio stuff, they pay for your cars. Like the music industry people, they don't own anything, which makes sense because I mean, of course you can't make money for making music. That's just not even realistic. Definitely not the amount of money that they're making, unless you're singing for kings and queens, which that's kind of the ancient thing that doesn't even really exist anymore. And then what was the other thing with that? Oh yeah, and then it's an insurance clause type company, kind of like it is like Rumpelstiltskin because he operates off of demonic principles anyways. If you have to sign the exit clause to get out of the contracts, because the spiritual realm revolves around laws, the universal laws and laws of the spirit realm. And that's why they have the whole on earth as it is in heaven and as above so below. But anyhow, like, record labels will take your money. Like, you can't have a Roth IRA or any of those things and like pass down your money to your kids. Or you can try, but like they really try to get you to not do that and make you not be able to, so they can steal all your money. Like when I hear music playing on the radio, I think about all the people, especially of True Yasharil, whose talent and creativity has been taken by the synagogue of Satan, and now it's just like played on the radio, and they make money for our stuff after taking our people out and then mysteriously dying. Like I think Aaliyah was one person that first comes to mind, but who in the music industry? Crap, XXX, Juice WRLD, anybody ever.
Why you laughing? Now you brought up, bro. You brought up. And look, I hope this is not going over people's heads. But
Hey, it's only for the remnant. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You see how it resonates with you effortlessly.
For sure.
Because that's what you operate
For
on.
sure.
If you not at the...
What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Reviews. Out here with another one. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. What the hell am I looking at? What's up, YouTube?
Wait a minute.
Stretch.
Okay.
Recess, stretch.
Okay, but
Tell business out.
okay, but why is your face painted green, yellow, greenish yellow?
Why? It's about confiscation and just being your own, Edgar Allan Poe, your own street king.
Wait, how long have you been doing this? Painting your face, hair?
Ever since I was a little first time I was Swiss, my own pagan, instead of a poet.
Yeah?
Do my own, street magic.
How old are you?
Any age I can be.
Man, how old are you, man? I ain't got time.
No, Peter Pan is my big one.
Oh, Lord
like
Jesus.
anybody, I feel like older
Okay.
than ready, but I'm called ready.
Okay, so I asked this. What year were you born?
So you're the dragon.
Man, brother.
I was born in 76, actually.
Okay.
We
So
never look
76.
our age,
Well, you definitely don't look your age.
You look 24, but
Hey, listen, I appreciate it. People on the internet may disagree, but here's the bottom line. So it sounds like approaching 50 or 49 or 50, right?
Didn't hit the Golden Gate Bridge. I just went yellow, DJ.
Okay.
That was the time,
Okay, where are you from, man?
New Orleans.
New Orleans?
Normally, but
I'm about to say, I don't hear that accent now.
Because Georgia raised me,
Okay, how long you been here in Atlanta?
I've been roughly about 8 years.
Well, how long you been in Georgia?
I knew the strike big at 8. For 2000, Atlanta's the shit. That's where you start. Kill the East Coast, West Coast shit.
What part of New Orleans were you born? Let's start there.
Not really born. I was in Lincoln Parish. They don't count.
Okay, Lincoln Parish.
On the boat still. Yeah.
Okay. So not necessarily the city type deal.
Right.
Okay.
Country straggling and hit the city slicker when the
And
country.
shout out to all the parishes. Shout out to the whole state of Louisiana, man. Definitely shout out the city of New Orleans all day. All right, so let's try to figure this out. Dude, so
I already knew he meant Louisiana when he said parish, because Louisiana is the only state that still has parishes since I guess it was colonized by the French or something.
oh, you live
I
around
don't
here?
know.
I'm like a bobsleigh. I'm on the road warrior.
Okay, so you just be rolling in. But where do you lay your head at night?
The gig. Totally. Like, this is the gig. I make the gig.
The gig? What does that mean?
Like the newest platform, whatever, it's podcast or rap, freestyle.
Oh no, I'm asking where do you lay your head at night?
Hopefully with you. And this is the hookup for $10 on YouTube to get my first studio.
What do you mean with me? Like you don't know
Your
me?
entourage.
I don't know what Marcus means by what do you mean with me. He's similar to the Mark Leda dude. Like, he tries to get with everybody, male, female, young or old, kid or adult who gets on here. And he makes his little weird, slick comments. But he knows what he means, hopefully, with you.
How about that? Motel 8, I would like the cottage in North Ross. Hey, maybe somewhere in Italy.
Okay, so let me ask this. Do you have any kids?
My DJ Fresh, Kid Rock.
No, listen, it's not cool to deny kids.
No, I'm a military brand. I can't really have them because my parents still haven't decided where we're going to land. We just want to be like the new Parliament of Funk.
So your parents is military, or one of your parents is
Yeah,
military?
we're just trying to get our Quincy Adams or our own Jackson 5.
So you used to move around a lot when you was little?
Yeah, we're trying to get our own Muddy Waters, our own Browns. We're kind of like...
Let me ask you this. When you was growing up, y'all was moving around a lot. Did you have trouble making or keeping friends, stuff like that?
It's easy to make them or break them. Break their hearts. Come back in and reschedule. That's how we feel.
That's really relatable. I'm still crying over that one girl, but it's whatever, though. It's kind of embarrassing because I think I only knew her for 2 weeks or something, but that's the typical.
Okay.
Is that good interview?
Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm just freestyle, frizz it on any freestyle label. I'm a freestyle artist, and I'm trying to make my lyric or my poet known. That's it.
Did your family know that you dress like this?
Yeah, always. They copy me. I'm a mimic.
You're a mimic?
Yeah, most people on my Tide page, that's me.
And so, just to be clear, you're saying you don't have any kids?
Kid beats or teen beats.
Okay.
That's all I am.
Are you gay or whatever? Are you gay?
If they want, I'm pretty boy. I'm not a supermodel. All I do is rap. If I can marry your wife.
What do you mean if they won't? Does that mean you do gay
No,
for
I'm
type
not
deal?
how you want.
You want to come? So I was like, all right, I'm down. So we get to Venice, because I want to show everyone in Venice first, and he just leaves my ass, he did. So I was like, all right, I know people here, he doesn't, So I stayed in Venice, and I got to meet Daisy, and Daisy, she's a wonderful woman, she's a good person. She took me under her wing. We're about to get housing, you know, she's gonna adopt me or I'm getting emancipated.
Yeah, you want to get emancipated?
Yeah. And I just want to, you know, have a life. That's all I want. I share my things with everybody. All I ask people for in turn is respect. There are 3 things that are important in this world. Is respect, trust, and family. 4th is money if you get that far. You know, I learned that the hard way. I grew up through some sinister things, bro. I saw a murder scene last year, bro. Like, it's that bad. And, you know, like, I just...
What's your name?
Kimberly.
And then this is the talking Instagram quotes, because they're relatable, and it's a good coping mechanism.
No, my name's Money.
Money?
Yeah.
All right, Money.
Hey.
Money, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Are you originally from Arizona?
No, but I'm here visiting.
Are you out here for work?
Yeah, I do. I get around.
So what's your current situation right now?
Stable with a steady income.
That's good, man. How is it out here in Arizona? Do you like it?
The weather's, yeah, great.
So you're not from out here. Where are you from, though? What state?
I'm repping D-Town. D-Town's finest.
D-Town?
Mm-hmm.
What does that
Dallas,
mean?
Texas, baby.
All right. I was going to guess Detroit or something like that. And do you travel a lot?
Yeah, I like to travel. I don't travel a lot, but I like to travel.
Where's your next stop?
To the top.
You're going all the way to the top?
I'm trying.
That's good, man. Never stop hustling.
Huh, what DJ Khaled said, we the best.
That's right. How much do you usually try to make out here?
I don't know.
Is it dangerous out here in Arizona?
You gotta stay ready from get ready.
Has it ever
That's
been
an Instagram quote too, but that's actually one of my favorite ones, actually.
dangerous in the line of work that you do?
I don't allow it to get dangerous.
And how do you do that?
By keeping a steady vibe and a steady pace. Don't let the money make you make the money. Great.
Can I ask you about your childhood? How was it growing up?
It was chaotic, but chaotic situations make bosses. Pressure makes diamonds. For real.
Did you have mom and dad when you were growing up?
I also think that one of the things about some of the trauma talk speech patterns, as I call them, is when you're in situations where if you're texting, you have to type really fast because you're not really allowed to have a phone, or you're maybe not really allowed to talk to people, you're talking to people about your abuse situation, or you're always trying to whisper because you're not supposed to have a phone or whatever.
Or I moved down here when I was still with my dad and grandma. I did record a lot of videos of this and had a whole bunch of pictures, but I deleted them.
Also, my speech patterns were worse when, like, around this time. I think this was also maybe the video after this is from the second time I had Rona, but one, I had that tonsil infection for years, and that and the mold toxicity from living indoors caused like a lot of stuffiness, so I sounded really like nasally most of my life. So
there's to be way more ants all over the ceiling than this. But anyway, yeah, that was nasty. But the reason I took the pictures
hold up
over the ceiling than this. But anyway,
I wish I saw the video of my nephew though. Not even because his speech patterns were necessarily really messed up, but just because of his like vocal pitch that some people just have. And I noticed that like me and all my relatives mostly have similar voices, especially like my siblings and my nephew. But these days, when you have like a certain vocal pitch, the one that commonly people who could be comedians have, now you get labeled off as quote unquote autistic for stuff like that. That's also really weird and stupid, but
yeah, that was nasty. But the reason I took the pictures, it's hard to explain because it's not gonna sound right.
okay, hold up.
Grandma kept saying I couldn't go outside.
Nah, hold up, wait a minute.
Again, for like the 3rd time in the video about how my dad was isolating me the whole 9 months I was with him and my grandma. So, like I said, I'm still sick. Maybe I haven't said that.
Yes, this was a remake because this was after CPS had snitched about the 1,950 plus abuse evidence videos and got the part 1 and part 3 channel deleted in my main Gmail since 10. So I was remaking a video from the part 1 channel on the part 5 channel about when my dad was isolating me. During the part 1 channel, when I started the part 1 channel, even before I started the part 1 channel, because I was staying with him and my grandma again, being isolated around that time, well, during that time.
Video yet, but I am. And so I'm gonna try to make this sound as good as possible, so I can hurry up and make this. but when it really sounded right, and not ending up becoming a 15-hour-long video, but I still haven't actually said what I was trying to say. So, I was isolated for 9 months. Hold on. I was isolated the whole 9 months. I was with him and my grandma. I wasn't allowed to be around anybody but him and girls he was around, and if they had kids, I could be around her kids. He did convince Mother that I was a child molester, so she didn't really want me around her kids after that. But that's a whole other story. So, okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah,
So hopefully people will see the similarities with that. Because, like, a lot of people are talking junk about the Billy situation. There's also another video, I don't remember what it was called, that I saw a couple months ago. It was some homeless interview. And people were saying that they're neurodivergent, or that they just feel like the dude in the video was autistic because of his speech patterns. And the labels are just all really annoying. Like, I know that some people like to have these labels because it gives them, like, they feel like they need an excuse for why everybody doesn't like them, but there's a lot I could say about that. That's not a healthy way of thinking either, but hopefully people see, like, the similarities with all that.
They did. So then now, the only way I can get you with a lie is if I put the truth in it. If I tell you a blatant lie, you're going to know I'm playing.
Well, say that one more time, brother, because that's necessary to hear. Say it one more time, brother.
The Bible is stated truly, is not truly stated.
Yeah.
And the only way somebody can trick you is by putting truth inside of a lie. That's why the serpent moves in between the truth and the lie. That's why the English language moves in between the truth and the lie.
Yeah.
If I say bear, am I talking about a grizzly bear or bear in arms?
Right.
Or bearing a child?
Right.
If I say two, am I saying T-O, T-O-O, T-W-O, or T-U?
Right.
I know when the now called New Age movement got popular, a lot of them were talking about how English is a spell language, which it is.
Right. Which one? Now I have to contextualize what you're telling me to find out the vibration of it. Well, when we were vibrating at our highest frequency, we used telepathy to be able to communicate. You didn't have to say shit to me because I was so spiritually in tune and you were so spiritually in tune that off of your vibration, off your aura, I could read what you were telling me. We didn't have to say a word.
Yeah.
Because the most powerful form of communication is what? Nonverbal.
Facts.
That's why they're taking that away. That's why they're taking us away from connecting
cell phone with 5Gs, with electric cars.
Come on.
Word.
It's there, bro.
Word.
It's there, man.
Word.
So, I don't want people to think that, I'm being insensitive to people who don't get it.
But anywho, some of that wasn't really what I was looking for. I was mostly looking for the kind of, well, it was kind of just said, nonverbal is original design. And of course, a lot of this is like NWO, one world religion, consciousness doctrine, which is bullcrap. But generally, that is true. Like some people that have had like angel encounters, angels communicate like that. Adam and Eve before their descent, and the cap and other things being done to like their DNA that made them be able to die and go from like a Benai Elohim, more of a god-like, or well, demigod, like state, to the mortal human state. Their DNA had to be changed for that, which is why one of the biggest things with the beast system is the mark, which takes the capstone type thing off the DNA, makes people be able to live forever again, with of course a lot of clauses with no exit, and transhumanism and what's that thing called, cyborg type stuff. But that's not, it's a newer term that people use. It's not even cyborg anymore. So it's I forgot what it's called, but pretty much transhumanism. And so anyways, Adam and Eve, they couldn't see themselves because they glowed really brightly, and they had spiritual eyes, which means that like you can see all the way down the road and like around the corner and around a mountain. Because spiritual eyes are different from like natural eyes, not like full-blown omnipresence, but a somewhat similar version of that, just like vision that's just supernatural. It's like seeing, not even just seeing through a wall, but like you're in front of a building, but you can see what's behind the building and around the building and down the road from the building and stuff like that. And one of the things that I mentioned somewhere before in some video somewhere, I don't even know if it was on this channel, is when that movie came out. Don't remember what it was called, where they were talking about how humans only use 50% of their brain. Well, Adam and Eve, they were able to use 100 before the descent, and that's what people are trying to get back to. That's what all of this cultic one world religion consciousness stuff is about. Even similar to how like kind of the point of witchcraft, other than like control and manipulation, is generally to have power without the Most High. That's kind of like the main point and definition of that. So similar to that, people trying to get back to that, but it's not even going to be like that, because one of the things about the beast system is that you're going to be under control. You're not going to get to use what your quote-unquote powers for what you want to use them for. And so anywho, this also makes me think back to what's now being called autism or nonverbal autism, and even how I mentioned before, which I know Imagination podcasts are now called Emma something, because she has a new channel name since she made her new channel after her last one got banned. But I know she had this one interview with somebody who went through MK Ultra and all that stuff, and they were talking about how the government has secret list of autistic kids who can read minds. And of course, if you've been in the lower side of SPED, but especially the gate/gifted side of SPED, which is a part of the school system branch of the Cash for Kids system, you already know they give you those tests to see if you're clairvoyant and clairaudient, and if you can hear certain frequencies and different things like that. They test you to see if you're what a lot of people call psychic. And so yeah, nonverbal is an original form of communication, and it even makes me think back to like I've never really had a boyfriend before, to be honest, or dated anybody, because I guess I'm a femcel. I've also been in too many isolated situations anyways. But someone that I could consider something similar to that, or close enough, when I was in 1st or 2nd grade, one of those, no, maybe 3rd, either way, there was this one boy, and he has what would now be called the autism label. He was on some spectrum of that. I don't believe in a lot of it, but he was on some spectrum of that. And so like he didn't talk, he just like would like make noises and stuff, like not, I don't mean that in like a rude way, but he liked beatboxing pretty much. And we actually we got along pretty well. I remember like he had kissed me on the cheek on the bus, and I was sitting beside him, and then his sister had said that she was going to tell his mom and he was going to get a whooping. They were quote unquote black, of course. And then he just rolled his eyes, and it's funny because I don't even know how to roll my eyes, but he didn't say anything because he didn't talk. And so sister was talking about she was going to get him a whooping, and he's not supposed to be kissing girls. And it's like, I don't mean this in a rude way, but people are so like mean to people that they see as different. It's like he should really be allowed to like have a girlfriend, because like so many people are going to treat him funny and like be rude about dating him or wanting to date him because of what people like to claim as a quote-unquote disability. Hopefully that doesn't sound rude. It probably is, but she was just like a hater, his younger sister. And so anywho, it made me think about like when my mom's boyfriend would manipulate me sometimes by saying great minds think alike. Another long story, to be honest, but that term really is true. Like we both liked Mario a lot, which I guess people probably know that I still like. And so he had these, well, we were like, even before I met him, like I would cut out like different figures that I would draw, and I would like play with them like in books, especially I Spy books, because they were a really good background. And when I met him, I noticed that he did the same thing. And so yeah, like, and then I also think about when I was in this one Cash for Kids system placement, the alternative school group home type thing, where I know I mentioned before a couple times, since abuse evidence channels, that like the teachers would always try to scare us by telling us that the school was haunted, because there was this one orphan girl in the foster home named Esperanza, and she pulled all her teeth out supposedly and jumped out the window. The staff probably threw her out the window, to be honest. But yeah, so at that quote unquote school, I met this one girl there. I don't really know what her label was supposed to be. I think they were trying to say that she was like a quote unquote psychopath or something. But this quote unquote white girl who didn't talk, but apparently she would talk to her parents and like curse her parents out, but I don't know what the situation was with that. And she was like, honestly, she just seemed like she had been essayed really badly. That's the typical for honestly most of the kids there anyways. And so anywho, she would only talk to her mom, and she was scared to like use the bathroom or ask anybody to let her go to the bathroom and stuff like that. And so anywho, she didn't talk at all. She didn't talk to anybody, but she did like me. She did think that I was funny, and she would like laugh at me, and she would say that like I was funny and all that, even when I wasn't trying to be funny. So yeah, like nonverbal people, they're like the best people pretty much, and I would say that they're actually more, they communicate better and more, but in like different ways, I feel. And so yeah, but some of that is caused by like, I don't even know if I can say that without this video being taken down, like that one video in like December 2024, but it can be caused by certain things that like can be fixed. But people don't even like to hear that anymore, which I guess could go into the video that I'm going to eventually make, which is going to be a part 2 of like how there is no illness faking trend, there is no TikTok illness faking trend. People are having doctors and teachers tell them that they have these made up labels that there are no real tests for. And since people are told to just listen to and believe their doctors, they just go along with it and believe it, and they don't question it. And so they only run around saying that they have all these different quote unquote mental problems and disabilities. People are telling them that they're faking it, but they're not really faking anything. They're doing what they're told to do, to believe their doctor on some bullcrap.